Well, hello all my yoga friends. Welcome to Got Yoga. I'm Chris Gott, G-O-T-T. Don't forget the E. And today we're going to be doing a nice well-rounded sequence. Going to be connecting a lot of movement with breath and a little bit of core, a little bit of everything, with a major focus on giving the lower back some love at the end. So I hope you'll join. Just wanted to remind you to subscribe to my channel, and if you like wiener dogs and yoga and you like those combined, you should follow me on Instagram at Wiener Yoga, W-I-E-N-E-R. So let's jump in to today's juicy yoga session. All right, let's start seated. Crisscross applesauce. If you can draw your heels away from your groin a little bit, that would be great. I like to sit on a blanket to help me really lengthen through the crown of my head, get my pelvis nice and level. So that's an option for you. We are going to be using some blocks later on. So if you don't have any, maybe some thick books would be helpful. Just a little reminder, you might want to yell at your dog or your significant other to bring you your blocks, or just go pause the video, go get them. All right, let's get started. Shh. So we're sitting up nice and tall, grounding through our sit bones. You can press your hands into the earth behind you. Our head's over our heart is over our hips, and then we're finding a nice comfortable place to rest our hands. Pull the navel up and back, lift the chest, draw the shoulders away from the ears, and then let's settle into our practice by closing our eyes. We're trying to just take these few moments in the beginning to really honor this practice by taking a second to just recognize that we're coming into a different space. So try to deepen your inhalations and lengthen your exhalations. Nice deep inhale through your nostrils, and a long exhale through your nostrils. Relaxing any tension in your face. Letting any thoughts that wander onto your mat wander off your mat. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Feel your chest rise as you inhale, and as you exhale, feeling a little taller. Go ahead and join your palms together at heart center, thumb tips touching your sternum. Bow your chin towards your chest. Lift up your gaze, slowly blink open your eyes. Beautiful. All right. Interlock your fingers, flip your palms, and inhale, reach your arms up in line with your ears. So while you're sitting here, press through your palms, lengthen up through the sides of your body, and continue to breathe. On your next exhalation, widen at the elbows, cactus arms, and broaden your chest. And then inhale, join your hands together at heart center. And exhale, reach your arms up in line with your ears. Reaching through those ring fingers. Take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, lead with your chest. Draw your torso forward. Exhaling, bringing the hands down onto the floor. Great. Inhale, lengthen Exhale, pulling the navel in. Maybe you start to fold over your legs. So a little forward fold here. Keep doing that. I'm going to keep a long spine as you fold over. Listening to your lower back, stopping wherever's comfortable for you, and letting the head dangle once you're there. Draw your thighs down towards the floor. On your next inhale, walk yourself back up. Great, let's do that again. Inhale, reach your arms up in line with your ears. Your fingers are interlocked. Press up through your palms. Exhale, let it out. Inhale one more time. Exhale, widen at the elbows, cactus arms, broad chest. Inhale, join your palms together. Exhale, reach through those ring fingers, bringing those triceps and biceps in line with your ears. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, lead with the chest, draw your torso over your legs. Taking an inhale, and then exhale, lower your hands down. Pull the belly up, keep leading with the chest as you fold over, long spine over those legs. And then once you've come to a comfortable stopping point, go ahead and let your head dangle, release any tension from your face, and energetically drawing your thighs down towards the floor. One more deep breath into your upper back. And then exhale, walk yourself back up. Beautiful. Come off your blanket, come onto your hands and knees. Let's get cozy in our cat-cow here, our cat-angry cat. Hands underneath the shoulders, hands shoulder distance, knees underneath the hips, knees shoulder distance. You can have your hands a little farther forward than underneath your shoulders if you'd like. Go ahead, inhale, lift your sit bones, lift your gaze. Exhale, press into your palms, tailbone towards the floor. Inhale, draw your shoulders back, and exhale, round. Inhale, draw your shoulders back, and exhale, round the palms. Come to a neutral tabletop. From your tabletop position, go ahead and tuck your toes. Press into your palms and hover your knees above the ground, just a couple of inches. So your shoulders are over your wrists, you're pulling your belly up, your collarbones are broad, and you are breathing. And then go ahead and press back into a downward facing dog. So you might have to walk your hands forward here. If you have low back issues, start with a generous bend in the knees. Have the feet shoulder distance, hands shoulder distance. So find a nice long back body. You're pressing into your palms, the fingers are spreading wide. And then maybe you slowly begin to straighten your legs. You want your torso spilling over your hips here. You can pedal your feet a couple of times. This is your first down dog, so work out all those kinks. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale into a high plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, press through the heels, shoulders broad, bend at the elbows, lower all the way down. Keep those hips up. And then untuck the toes. And inhale, lift up into a low cobra. And then exhale, roll over to one side. Doesn't matter which side, pick your side. Bring your elbow right underneath your shoulder and have the palm planted down facing forward. From here, bend your back knee. So bend your bottom leg and draw your heel away from you. There's no back knee, sorry. And have your hips in line with your elbow and your knee and your foot in line with your hips. Plant your top foot down, bring your top arm onto your hip, and on an exhale, press through your elbow plugging your shoulder back into its socket. Lift your hips up and keep pressing in to that bent knee as well. So we're in a forearm side plank here. Broaden the chest so you're stacking your shoulders. Maybe you reach your hand up. When you've got your stable base here, go ahead and press up through that top leg, lifting the heel up into the air, and then lower it down. So if you're feeling fatigued, bring your top hand back onto your hip. We're strengthening the hip flexors here, the outer hip. So press through that heel as you inhale, and as you exhale, lower your foot down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Woo, burns, everything burns. Exhale, press through that elbow, lift your hips up. Inhale, exhale, 1 more. Inhale, hold it if you can. Lift up through your hips, and exhale. Woo, lower the hips down. Lower down. Come back on to your belly. We're on our bellies. Bring your hands in front of you. Rest your forehead on your hands and rock your hips back and forth a little bit. Find your feet shoulder distance. From here, bring your hands behind you. Reach them back. Plant the palms. Ground your feet. Ground your hips. Ground your palms, and on an inhale, lift your shoulders and your chest off the ground for locust pose. So have a nice long neck, pull the navel up, use those abdominal muscles and those muscles in the back to lift yourself up. And then keep breathing, don't lower down yet, I tricked you. 1 more breath here, get up a little higher, and then exhale. Turn your cheek to one side. And take a recovery breath. Nice long inhale. And exhale. And let's do it again. This time you're going to engage your hands. Keep the feet grounded. On an inhale, reach your hands back. Ground your feet. Ground those thighs. Ground your hips. As you draw your hands back, squeeze your upper arms together. Nice long neck. Keep breathing. Pull that belly in. Draw your heart forward as you draw your shoulders back. 1 more breath. And then exhale. Woo! Turn your head to the opposite side and take a recovery breath. Great. Now we're going to activate those leggies. Here we go. Inhale. Rise up. Engage your feet. Tops of your feet turn down towards the mat. Feet are shoulder distance. Squeezing your upper arms together. Reaching your hands back. Pull the belly in, have that nice long neck. Keep breathing. Maybe you swim your hands forward and then swim them back. Reaching the hands forward, reaching them back. And 1 more. Reach those hands forward, reach them back, and exhale. Lower down. Turn your cheek to the opposite side. Great. Take a recovery breath. Just gonna swing this way so you can see me. And then roll over to the opposite side that you haven't rolled over onto yet. So your elbow is underneath your shoulder. Sometimes I think it's under my shoulder, but I need to bring it in just a little bit more. Your hip is in line with your elbow. Your knee is bent. Your knee is in line with your elbow. So your bottom leg, the heel of your bottom leg is drawing behind you. Plant that top foot down on your top leg, and then when you're ready, bringing the top arm, top hand onto the hip, inhale, lift up, press up through your elbow, drawing your scapula back so the shoulder's plugging into its socket, lifting the hips up. You can reach your hand in line with your shoulder if you'd like. Keep lifting up through the hips, press through the knee. Breathe here, and when you're ready, you feel grounded, press through that heel on your top leg, reaching the leg up into the air. Exhale to lower your foot down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, stacking your shoulders, stacking your hips. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up through those hips, pressing through the elbow. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. lower. You've got this. 2 more. Rise up. Lower the foot down. Let it hover. 1 more. Keep that heel up there. Keep breathing. And exhale. Whew. Lower the foot down. Lower the hips down. Come back on to your belly. Whew. Plant the hands at the mid ribs, below the pectorals. Tuck your toes. Press back into a downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Gaze forward. Step or jump to your hands. Inhale, long spine as you come to rise. Ooh, there's a fan above me. And exhale to join the palms. Awesome, we've come to rise at the top of our mats. Have your blocks at the front of your mat for later. Bring your feet together or shoulder distance for those low back issues. Ground your feet, reach your arms up as you inhale. Gaze up, exhale, long spine as you fold forward into your Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, plant your palms and shoot your right leg back. Drop your back knee, keep your toe tucked as you inhale, rise up into a low lunge. Squeeze through both those inner thighs. Exhale, join your palms together and press through your back heel, rising the hips up into a high lunge here. Keep breathing, plug your femur bone on that front leg back into its socket. And then when you're ready, just exhale, step your feet together. Inhale to stand. Exhale to join your palms and sink your hips. So I gaze at my feet first to sit my hips back a little. And then lift your chest up. Keep breathing here. You can bring one hand to the back to check if the spine's nice and long. I tend to have a little kyphosis. So draw your tailbone towards the floor if you feel you are swaying that back. Keep sinking the hips, bending the knees, pulling the navel up. You can have your hands at heart center, or you can reach the arms up in line with the ears for more of a challenge. All right, that's enough chair pose for one day, or just for that one round. Exhale, join your palms, straighten your legs. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, fold it forward, long spine as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, shoot your left leg back. Drop your back knee, untuck, don't untuck your toe. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, join your palms, press through your heels, rise up into a high lunge. Take another breath here. On your next exhale, step your feet together at the top of your mat. Inhale to stand up, exhale to join your palms and sink your hips. So lift your chest, lengthen your tailbone, sink your hips. Inhale, you lift your chest, lengthen your back body, sink your hips. One more. Lift and sink. Inhale, come to stand, and exhale. Fold forward. Uttanasana. Take a recovery breath here. In your forward fold, you can have a nice bend in the knees, whatever's comfy for you. We're going to inhale, lift halfway up, and exhale, plant the palms, shoot the right leg back again. Drop your knee, inhale, rise up into that low lunge. Exhale, join the palms together, press into your back heel, rise up, high lunge. Keep one breath here. And then on an exhale, step your feet together at the top of your mat. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, chair pose, Uttanasana. Sink your hips. Lift your chest, lengthen your tailbone, sink your hips. Lift, lengthen, sink. Broaden those shoulders, sink your hips. Inhale, come to rise. And exhale, long spine, pulling the navel in as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the belly up, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, plant your palms, shoot your left leg back. Drop your knee, inhale, rise up into that low lunge. Reach up through those ring fingers. Exhale, join your palms, press into the back heel for a high lunge. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Plug the femur bone into its socket on that front leg. And then exhale, step the feet together. You rise up on an inhale, and on your next exhale, you sink your hips. Lift your chest, lengthen if you need to. If you're tucking too much, maybe you need to untuck a little. Sink your hips. Broadening the collarbones, sinking the hips. One more breath here, and then straighten your legs. Lead with your chest. Fold over for Uttanasana. All right, now those blocks come in handy. So just take one more recovery breath here. Grab your blocks. You can grab at the elbows, hang like a rag doll, rock back and forth if you'd like. Depending on where your hands come and your forward fold is going to depend on the height of your blocks. So if you're pretty high up with your hands when you try to reach the floor, you might need your blocks on a higher level. I got my blocks on the lowest level. Plant your hands down onto those blocks. Hands are shoulder distance. You can bring your feet together, bring your feet like 6 inches from your blocks. Balance or find stability through that right foot, and then press your left heel into the air for a standing split. So as you inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your chest, and then exhale, your torso comes a little bit closer to your leg. Keep grounding through your foot, have a little micro bend in the knee. Feel like your shins shooting forward, your kneecaps drawing up, the top of your thighs engaged on that standing leg. Doesn't matter how high your foot comes up, it matters if you're really pressing through the heel, the foot's active, you're pulling the navel in. And then here we go, we're going to keep reaching back with that left foot. Drop it down, drop the knee down, and inhale, rise up into a low lunge. Lift up through the hip points, pulling the belly in, and then maybe you sink your hips a little deeper. Very nice. All right, plant your hands, press back into a downward facing dog. Reach your left leg up into the air. Draw your left heel towards your right buttocks. Just open your hips. So just draw your left knee back. Be nice and firm in your hands. So don't let either arms buckle, and try to find equal weight in both your palms. Lower that foot back down. Bend your knees. Gaze forward. Step or jump to your hands. Inhale, come to rise. And exhale to join your palms. Great. Let's do the other side. Your feet are behind your blocks. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward with a long spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands onto these blocks. This time, ground your left foot and shoot your right heel back into the air for a standing split. So I like to inhale, draw my shoulders back, lift my breastbone, and then exhale, I try to draw my torso closer to my legs. If this is really hard for you, sometimes it helps to bring the blocks forward a little bit more. Find that perfect tiny little bend where your muscles are really engaging. Try to keep breathing steady here. And here we go. Reach that right foot back. Drop your right knee. Inhale, rise up into a low lunge. Join your palms together and savor this juicy low lunge. Plant your palms down and press back into a downward facing dog. This time you're going to reach your right leg up into the air, draw your right heel to your left buttocks. So the whole body is not opening, just draw that right knee back and open up the hip point on that right side. Check into your hands. Are you putting all the weight in your left hand? Bring some weight into that right one. And lower that right foot down. Very nice. Bend your knees. Gaze forward, step or jump to your hands. Inhale, rise up. And exhale to join your palms. Great. Now grab a blanket or roll up your mat at least halfway into a nice tight roll. And we're gonna do something fun. So I'm gonna roll up my blanket. Bring the fronts of your toes onto your blanket or your rolled up mat. So the palms of your feet shoulder distance, and your toes are on your rolled up blanket. Your heels are on the floor. Keep a little bend in the knees. Reach the arms up. There's a fan in my way. And then long spine, slowly listening to the backs of those knees. You might bring a very generous bend into your knees if you have tight hamstrings. Fold your torso towards your legs. So if your hands aren't reaching the floor, maybe you grab those blocks. Bring your hands onto some blocks. Find whatever's comfy so you can hang out here for a little bit. Have a tiny little bend in the knees. It's better to have a big bend in the knees, and then you can progress from there instead of regress, and find what is good for you. Dangle your head. Relax your face. And just enjoy this yummy hamstring stretch. Great. Bend the knees. Rise up with a long spine. And release. Come off your blanket. Let's find our way onto the floor. If you have a hard time in Malasana, a great way to practice Malasana if your heels come off the ground is to bring the backs of your heels onto a blanket. For those of you who know in your yogi squat that your heels already come down to the floor, just everyone bring their feet shoulder distance apart, turn your toes out, join your palms together and sink your hips. And now we're in our little squat. Wiggle your torso between your legs, lift your chest, press the backs of your arms into your legs. Hang out here for a minute. Some of you might need to bring a block underneath your sit bones. That's okay. Some of you just need to go ahead and find your way to the floor already. Lower your knees down, lower your hands down. That's where we're going, is to the floor. So we'll all join each other on our backs. Have one block handy. So we found our way down onto our backs. We've got our block. Let's go ahead and plant your feet down, bend your knees, and lift your hips up. Bring your block underneath your sacrum. So where those dimples are on your back, right at the top of your butt. Yep, that's the spot. So you can have it on the lowest setting. You might even enjoy having it on the middle setting. It's up to you. Pull both knees into your chest real quick. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, straighten your left heel down towards the ground. So press your left heel away from you. Have a nice straight left leg. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, pull your right knee into your chest. So you have your fingers interlocked over your knee and you're drawing your knee into your chest. And then go ahead and reach your hands behind you. And then keeping your right knee bent, actively draw your knee into your chest, just using your muscles in your leg. Press your right heel up into the air. And then exhale, lower, slow and with control, your right heel down towards the ground. let the foot hover. And then inhale, pull the foot back up, having your foot over your hip. And exhale, pull your knee into your chest again. Inhale, press your heel up. Exhale, lower your foot down, pulling the belly in. Inhale, rise the foot back up. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the knee into the chest. And then reach your hands back, interlocking both knees, hands over both knees. So you've drawn your left knee back in. And from here, go ahead and straighten your right foot down. You've got your fingers interlocked over your left knee. You're drawing your right thigh down, scraping your right heel away. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, draw your left knee towards your chest. And then go ahead and reach your hands back behind you. Keep pulling your left knee into your chest. Exhale, press your left heel up into the sky. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, slow and with control, lower your left foot down towards the ground. Let it hover. And inhale to rise back up. So your foot's over your hip if you can. And then exhale, bend your knee. Draw your knee into your chest. Again, press the heel up on an inhale. And then exhale, lower your foot down towards the floor. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, draw your left knee into your chest. Great. Now just plant your left foot down, bend your right knee, plant your right foot down. Bring your feet so they're as wide as your mat. And draw your knees in so they're touching one another. Leave your feet where they are. This is where I like to bring my block up on its second level. And then draw your knees over to the left side. Let your knees fall over to the left side. Your right hip might come off your block a little. And then come back to center. Draw your knees over to the right side. So you can just keep doing this. Your knees fall side to side. Feels really juicy on that lower back. Should be getting a little lower back massage there. I like it. Yep. And then go ahead and come back to center. Awesome. Now, if you're not on the lowest setting, go ahead and find your way there. Bring your hands back in front of you, palms facing up, hands a little farther away from the body, and bring a lift to your chest. So tuck your shoulders under a little bit, and then bend your knees and bring your feet up so they're right over your hips for Viprita Karani. So if this is uncomfortable, your back's uncomfortable on your block, you can either drape the blanket over your block, or you can just lower your feet down, readjust your block, and lift your feet back up. This is a lovely inversion, very restorative. You can even close your eyes here, starting to settle down. Awesome. And then once you're finished with having your legs up in the air, finish off with a nice yummy Shavasana. If your lower back's hurting, roll a blanket up underneath your knees for your Shavasana. If you don't know what Shavasana is, your knees are wide, your feet fall to the sides, you're just laying there like a corpse. And you find that comfy position so that you won't move. Nothing's going to bother you when you start to draw inward. So close those eyes, relax your face, start to focus on that steady breath at the navel center. I encourage you to stay there for a few more minutes. Namaste.